Let me see if I can prove the value that both Advisor and UBA, and even the two of them working together, brings to the table. This is a use case that was put together by a bright young engineer called Max Lewis from the DC area. So thank you, Max, for bringing this to us. And by the way, the IOCs and the logs that we use and the flows that we use for reproducing this real case scenario, by the way, are in the box link that is in the video description of this video. So if I'm faced with these four offenses, let's start in chronological order. Let's take a look at the without Advisor and UBA in here. We have, this seems to be a desktop by the address. We look at the events in here, and this is not good. And we see that, there's some malware here. UBA is actually correlating some stuff. Attempt to login failed. Attempt login succeeded. Windows logs have been clear. Well, this doesn't, we know it is, we don't need Advisor to know that this is bad, but let's see what else can we get out of this information. That's offense 71. Let's go to offense 72. Well, this is actually self-explanatory. I mean, not more attempts of erasing the logs. Let's go to 73. Well, this is telling you that there's a large amount of data going out, and that's QRadar was able to detect that because of the flows. Let's see how much data here. Well, this is not peanuts, 13 pages of stuff that looks like has been probably compressed and fragmented to try to disguise detection, avoid detection, but QRadar found that out. So now, okay, that's, well, we can do even more. Look at that. Source IP, personal server. How does QRadar knows that? Well, because I feed my QRadar system with scanner data, and it's telling me that this is some data going out from the personal department. That doesn't look good at all. What I'm going to do is, and of course I can always, I also like to do, let me make sure I show you the best I can do without Advisor and UBA, which I'm getting so used to now. Okay, we can see the rules that fire in this offense. Let's go to the other meaningful one, which is this one. Oh, actually, we haven't seen the 74 one. Let's actually display the rules that contributed here. Well, this definitely is malware and command and control communication. And let's even look at this, the 74 one. It's only one event and one flow. Let's look at the event. That's probably the CRE, yeah. Tor activity, there's a Tor browser involved here. That's not good. And display the rules is actually the detection of the Tor browser, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So that's without Advisor and UBA. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to be sending every one of these offenses to Advisor for investigation. And you can do this manually as I'm doing it right now, or you can have the system do this automatically. So by the time that you go and look at your offense, all the results from Advisor will be here. So I'm not going to be sending this one, which is Windows event logs being clear. I'm going to send these 3 to Advisor. I'm going to pause the video for a minute or two until Advisor comes back to me, and then we're going to analyze this in lieu of the new data from Advisor. So Advisor came back with the data. Let's actually do the same analysis. We're now having that data right there. Well, first of all, I'm already being warned that this is a high magnitude incident, and look at all the stages of the MITRE attack framework that has been in here: initial action, persistent, previous escalation, all that. Let's actually look at this graphically and see what we can derive. Well, this is actually pretty good. Let's see, we have 2 users here. My domain, common tool, this is a common account, not a good thing. And this is user here, Natalie Sider involved, and this is looks like another server, kind of. And let's look at this software opm.gov. That's a legit place to download software for the OPM. However, notice that this IP address that got resolves to China. That's not good. That's a classic DNS attack in which the guy thought he was going there, downloading some software and went to China. So probably that's where he got all these malware thing in here. Let's take a look at the malware. There's some, hashes that denote the, and notice that these hashes were not part of the offense, were actually related to some of the things. You can find these things out in Curator doing searches, but it's going to take you a great deal of time and going into the web and multiple sites and see the relations. So there's the John AP malware and the Rakatamba one, and there's this threat organization, and in everything in here you can click and see what is it that Advisor is actually finding that. This is, for example, is from CrowdStrike, and you can see the details of it and how Advisor got the details of that. It's actually very interesting. So we know how this began. This guy has been fooled by a DNS attack. Let's actually click in here and see Natal in UBA. So we go right there and look at, 3 use cases this time. Let's look at this one. Anomalous account created for new location. Oh, look at that. This is not good. This is North Korea and Chinese. So let's actually go back to the offense. This actually gives us much complete information than what we had before. Let's go back and analyze the other offenses and see if they are related to this. We're not going to see this one. Somebody clear the logs. Let's look at this one. Large outbound transfer. Well, obviously, in the MITRE attack, is telling you, again, Advisor is telling you this is actually pretty big. There are 3 threat actors, 1 malware family, and there has been data exfiltration. Let's actually look at this graphically and see the relationship. So we see the same user, this common user, my domain common account, and the key marble malware is actually involved. Lazarus, that's actually confirmed that these are the Trojan, the North Korean one. And here's the North Korea organization. This is also related to other offenses, and I clear all the offenses so we don't see the relations in here. And this particular malware, this is the personnel server, where probably that guy Natal, thinking that he was going to the real site, downloaded some malware, and he was actually exploited by the bad guys. And notice all the other antivirus signatures that are recognized with this piece of malware in here. Let's actually go to the last offense, the most recent one. Again, since this is something pretty bad, initial access and discovery, we can look at the relationship here. And this one seems to be a different thing. Obviously not a good one, but it's a different malware. This is seems to be another kind of attack where the 8.8.8, the DNS has been actually spoofed. I don't know the details of that, but this seems to be a different investigation. So going back to the other 3 that we just saw, notice how much time and how much complete your investigation is or becomes when you had Advisor on your side. Again, you can find all these things if you know where to search in the internet. It will take you a great deal of time to do that, and you cannot do that with all the offenses because it takes a great deal of time. And in a matter of minutes, this tool automates and enhances your analysis as a SOC operator.